Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space News, where we talk about the Baltimore Ravens 3 days a week. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I want to make a special announcement. I will not be doing a show on Wednesday. That is Valentine's Day. I have a girlfriend. I have to do things for Valentine's Day because I have a girlfriend, like have dinner. So I cannot make a show, but I'll be back on Friday with all your Baltimore Ravens news, I promise. Now, let's hop into this show. I want to say please subscribe for the best Baltimore content. Again, this is something that we do just for you guys as Ravens fans. We produce great content just for you. So let's hop in to the topics of the day. So first, we're going to talk about Eric Weddle, his recruiting. We're going to talk about whether the running backs have a problem going into 2018, or is this the best situation we've been in a long time. We're going to talk about Ray and Jonathon Ogden making history for one last time, and then my favorite segment of the show, the mailbag and the comments of the day. But first, before we get into all that, let's talk about Eric Weddle. He is recruiting once again, and this time the target is Jarvis Landry. If you haven't seen it on Facebook, on Twitter, and all those different sites, they've been trying to pursue this guy, Jarvis Landry, because they know hopefully he can be a playmaker that helps the Ravens out on offense. They know last year that they didn't need to come down to a game for them if they had a good offense consistently through the season. And I know a lot of people blame the defense, and I understand because they did not play well, but it's not the defense's fault that they needed that win, right? The defense played well all season. So Eric knows this. Eric Weddle wants to help the Ravens out, and he's going to do anything he can to help them out. And if that means recruiting a wide receiver, he's going to recruit a wide receiver, and this is the value that you get for Eric Weddle, above and beyond the play that he gives you. Knowing his contract and seeing what he's done on the field, he's done more than enough. He has done more than enough. But the stuff that you get off the field also adds to his value in a way that isn't quantifiable, right? It's one thing if Ozzie says, hey, come here, we're the best. It's another thing if a player, a respected player like Eric Weddle, comes up and says, hey, this team is awesome. We have a great time and we're trying to win. Come here. I'm super excited about this. Weddle's 1 for 1 so far. And so that means if he's recruiting Jarvis Landry, he may be 2 for 2. And that means the Ravens offense will improve. I am excited about that. And again, I'm sure he knows who the Ravens are trying to target. For example, he wouldn't be trying to target Jarvis Landry if the Ravens weren't interested in Jarvis Landry. So I am excited about this. Again, good luck to Weddle. And if you guys want to recruit him as well, send him some tweets. Hey, whatever your Twitter name is, join the Ravens because we're the best, and watch the Ravens Space if you want to catch up on some Ravens news. So that would be cool. Now we're going to go to topic number 2, and we're going to talk about the state of the running backs. And we're not going to talk about, we're not going to talk about one in depth. If you want a feature video about that and you're a Patreon subscriber, go to your Patreon page and request that. But right now we're going to talk about how do we look going into next season, and what is the level of need for a running back. A lot of you guys have been asking this question, so I'm going to answer a lot of these questions at one time. First thing I'm going to say is that the Ravens running back position, it is the most ready skill position that the Ravens have on offense. Tight end, questionable. Receiver, questionable. What you cannot, quarterback, questionable. What you can't question is Alex Collins' play. Now, is this the best running back outlook we've ever had? I don't think so. But the difference between this year and last year is we have a good player. And right now I can only say good. I can't say, he's a great player because I've only seen him for 1 year. But I do know that in that 1 year he impressed me. In that 1 year he played, it had a momentum of that Justin Forsett year, except for Justin Forsett didn't make people miss. Alex Collins has that wiggle and has that boom to make people miss and run over them. And so I would say we're in a better position. I would say that we have a good second string running back in Terrence West. Sorry, not Terrence West, Buck Allen. Buck Allen has done a lot. I know there's a lot of fans of Buck, and everyone was disappointed when he didn't get a lot of smoke, a lot of play last year. I'm using some slang in there, guys, so catch up. If you didn't understand, put it in the comments below. But so, he didn't get a lot of play. Now, after that, so after your good running back, who's a starter caliber running back from what we've seen, and then after your backup running back, who could be, one of those mix and match guys. He's not a starting caliber, 25 carries a game guy, but he's below that, but not far. Now you have everyone else. Ken Dixon, I'm not a fan. I think he's a knucklehead. Terrence West, injury, lost his job, couldn't get it back. Danny Woodhead, I don't want to say useless toward the end of the season, but he can't run the ball. So when he's in the game, it's a pass. And it's just the bottom line. And that's why he was not as useful in the end of the season as he was those first three passes he caught in the beginning of the season. So, and also he makes more than all of them. So if you want to cut cap space, that's the way to do it as well. And then you have, all the other people that you plug and play and this and that I'm not going to get into. But those are the five that have, that are worth mentioning. And 2 spots are safe. I swear to goodness, if Buck Allen did not earn his spot this year, there's nothing that young man can do, and he should be looking for a different team, because I just don't know what else you can do. Because he had a hell of a year, I thought. But after those 2, Danny Woodhead's a question mark. If I was the Ravens, I'd cut him. Depending on how many dead cap space you have, I might cut him. Terrence West and Ken Dixon, whoever you like more, pick him. But I don't, really, honestly, I'm not a fan of either one. I would try to go get 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. You go get a young running back, because running backs are honestly, if you're not a great running back, you can be replaced easily. And I said you go get a young guy in there to try to keep up and see what you can do. So we'll see, of course. And hopefully this could happen. I'm going to say this, fingers are crossed. Hopefully Alex Collins is the same Alex Collins this year that he will be next year. And if that happens, the Ravens are good at the running back position, and they don't have to worry about that going into next year. So now we're going to go to the last topic. And this is a shorter topic, just a congratulations one more time to Ray Lewis and Jonathon Ogden. They made history by being the first Hall of Famers to be drafted in the same round of the same year by the same team. Again, congratulations to Ray and John, but another, even larger congratulations to Ozzy. It's a hell of a way to start your tenure, to pick 2 Hall of Famers in the first round. And honestly, it wasn't as if Ray Lewis and Ogden needed time to show you what they had. They had it from day one. So great picks. We'll probably, I'm going to say probably, I don't think we'll ever see that again in NFL history. And so I think it's a great accomplishment. Congrats to Lewis, Ogden, and Ozzy. So awesome, awesome accomplishment. And I think it's the only time we'll ever see it. Now we're going to move to the mailbag question of the day, sponsored by the Raven Space Patreon. If you want to be a Raven Space Patreon member, please check the description below. We have great perks. Check it out. And our question comes from Corey Bristle. And he says, okay, so do you think we will keep Wallace? I love Wallace. He was our #1 receiver other than Watson, who was going to go. He performed way better than Macklin and made way better catches, like the one against the Packers. To sum up your question, because there's a lot of thoughts there. What I think is going to happen to Wallace, I think it's between him and Macklin. You can only keep one, I think, because of the cap space and their performances. And you want to add Jarvis Landry. So you can only keep one. I don't know what the cap is, but if Mike Wallace wants to be paid like a #1 receiver, sorry, bro, you gotta go. If you want to get paid like a number 2 receiver, we can talk. Come into the office. But we see that he didn't have the chops to be number 1. Macklin doesn't have the chops either. So you got to pick one, whoever's going to be cheaper, that's the one you pick, and you try to go get another guy. I hope Wallace understands that he's not a number 1 receiver anymore. If he takes number 2 money, you bring him in, you keep him on the roster, you go get a number 1 receiver, and then you can have a real problem for NFL defenses. If you have Wallace, let's say you can get a Jarvis Landry, and then you go get in the 3rd round or 2nd round, another young receiver, and you try to work on Tim White to make him better. You try to work on Perriman to make him better, Chris Moore, and then you might have a chance to surprise some people. And now we're going to go to the comment of the day. And this comes from J. Mike Florida. This is a big one, so please stick with me. The Ravens are idiots if they draft a defensive player in the first 2 rounds. We could barely get first downs this year. The Ravens need to stop trying to find draft steals in late rounds. The players slip to those rounds for whatever reason. In the Ravens' case, all late rounders are injury prone. Get Flacco a true number 1 receiver and a durable, dependable tight end, and watch him have a Pro Bowl, if not MVP type year. Not to mention, help him out in the run game too. Thank you so much for your comment, J. Mike Florida. And I picked it because I know a lot of Ravens fans feel similarly to you, where they're upset that they even hear talk of people taking, the Ravens taking defensive players in the first 2 rounds. What I will say is they're not going to do that, I don't think. And a good receiver and a good tight end would really help this offense out if you had, 2 players who you could throw to on 3rd down. That really does change the way your offense is built. Look at the team like the Eagles, who last year, had 1 player who really wasn't performing, and Nelson Aguilar, right? He was their big ticket guy, wasn't doing it. You go get, and you had Zach Ertz too, but I'm talking about receivers in this instance, right? But you have Zach Ertz, and so they had Zach Ertz, and that's 1 player because Aguilar was not performing well. So you had 1 player that can go get you a catch on 3rd down. You added Alshon Jeffrey, you added Torrey Smith, and Aguilar gets better. So now you've added, and then you add a scat back running back, right? So now you have 5 guys on 3rd down who can help make a play because people elevated their game and veterans came in. If the Ravens had that, last year, the Ravens had, I would say at best, 2 people who can make a catch for you on 3rd down late in the season. And I'm not even counting Woodhead because Woodhead faded away. If you can get that number to 3 or 4, you get a good tight end, you get a good receiver, right? Let's say you get Jarvis Landry and you draft a tight end that can catch, right? And you keep Mike Wallace. That's 3 players right there. And that really does change the way your offense runs. So I think that's a good comment. I think the Ravens hear that, and they're trying to make moves to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to Ravens Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.